The next question is find the equation of the line through a point having a gradient, and here it is. So you just have to write again the equation of the line. Okay, and the information that they're giving you here is the slope or the gradient, and they're giving us 1 point, but they do not giving us the y-intercept. So the first step is to find the y-intercept. The way to do it is just replace the value of the gradient in the equation, and as we know, the point that go through the line, it's the point that make this equation true, so the values of that point can be replaced in the equation. So I'm gonna do this example, and as you see, my y is -3. My slope they're giving us here, it's -3 over 4, and x is the x from the point, and in this case it's 6, plus what I don't know, that is the y-intercept. So again, you remember the equation of the line. You have your x and y here, y and x, and those values come from the point. So here I have my x, and here I have my y, and the slope is over here. Now what we have to do is to isolate c. So the first step right now is to simplify the equation first. So in this side there's nothing that I have to do, so just leave it -3, and here I have a product, a fraction and a number. So -3 times 8 become -18 over 4 plus c. Remember that you always have to simplify any fraction that you have. So is this fraction, can it be simplified? Yes. The highest common factor is 2, and I should have 9 over 2. Okay, so now I isolate c by removing the fraction 9 over 2, -9 over 2, by adding 9 over 2 in both sides. Three plus 9 over 2 equal c. I work the left side, have an addition, because this is a fraction. This number, if you remember, is -3 over 1. So the only way that I can add two fractions is when they have the same denominator. So this one should be -6 over 2, okay, plus 9 over 2 equals c. So now I go faster. 9 minus 6, that's 3 over 2. So I know my c is going to be equal to 3 over 2. Okay, now simple. I replace the values, and I have my equation of the line. Next question is different in the sense that before we had a point and a gradient, now we have 2 points. So we know again the equation of the line, and to find the equation we need the slope and the y-intercept. So the slope has the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. As we learned before, I just have to align my points in a way that are simple for me to identify the x and the y. And as you know, you just have to put the x, y, and 1, 2. And that's it. You just have to replace in the formula and you will get the slope. That's the first step. So my y2 is 1 minus 4. 1 minus 4, negative 3. Okay. Then 5 minus 8, negative 3. World of the sign, positive, I can simplify, and is equal to 1. So here I just found my slope and it's equal to 1. Now what is missing, what I need to find now is C. And as the last exercise, what you just have is to plug the values of a point in the equation, the x and y, and the slope, and then you isolate C. So I'm going to go here faster and I'm going to choose randomly one point. Okay, I'm going to choose the point A, just like that. And so my slope is 1. I just write 1, but I don't need to because anything times 1 is anything. So this is 8, and C is going to be equal to negative 4. Done. Just like that. So I have my slope and I have my y-intercept. Now I can write the equation of the line. There you go. The slope is 1, so I didn't write it here. In this last question, here I can see that we are summarizing everything that we learned, and the question are put in words. For example, we're going to try to find the equation of the line, and I'm going to do E. And they're telling us that the equation of the line that they're looking is perpendicular to a line with a gradient 1/2. So the line that I'm looking is perpendicular to this one, and this one has a slope, this perpendicular, equal to 1/2. So what would be the slope of my line? As we learn, two lines are perpendicular when the slopes are negative reciprocal. So if my slope is 1/2, if I want to make it reciprocal, it becomes 2/1, but it says negative reciprocal, so I need to add a negative sign. So now I know that the slope of my line is equal to negative 2. And they're telling me that my line cuts the x-axis where? At the point -1. So in my graph, okay, if I know a point, so here they're giving me a point that belongs to the line, that is go through the line, and that point here, it says that cut the x-axis. This is my x-axis, okay, and he cut it here in -1. So if he cut it, that means that the line cross this point. I know, because my slope is negative, has to look like this, has to have that direction. So I know here I'm gonna sketch. I don't know if the line is exactly just like that, but I know the line come through this direction and cut the axis here. So this point, what would be the coordinate of that point? The x value, it says here clearly, is -1. And what is the y value? The y value is, because it crosses the the x-axis, it means that is 0. So now what I have is a point, and having the point, you do what you were doing before, is to find now the y-intercept. There is two ways to do it. I'm gonna go first with the graphic way. If I know this is my slope, -2, I know that the -2 I can write it as a fraction, and a fraction, I know the slope is rise over run, so that means that the negative give me the direction, because remember we're going from left to right, my second point is on the right. To get there I have to go -2 units, so -1, -2, so I go, that's my rise, and then my run is 1, so I go over here. So actually this is where my second point should be, and my real line should look like this. This point is x is the value of x is 0, and in the y-intercept is -2. So my y-intercept is -2. My slope is -2. There you go. I have the equation of the line using a graphic method, but if I have a hard time doing this, I just go with the formula. Remember that this point, the one that they're giving us, belong to the line, so I can use those values, the x and y, in my equation. So my y here is 0, because what we want to do is to find the y-intercept. My slope, as I know, is -2. Okay, and x, the x value for the point is -1 plus c. So here, rule of the sign, -2 times -1 become +2. +2. But I'm trying to isolate c, and c will be equal to -2. See? Doing the formula method, I find the same value for the y-intercept. So now you can choose. You can choose the method that you like better, the graphic method or the formula method.